When my mother begged a local priest to bless our new home in Germany, he said something I'll never forget. I've been to that address before, and a blessing can't fix what's living in your attic. We didn't know it yet, but the thing living in our attic wasn't just haunting us. It was waiting for a new life to be born in that house. In the 1990s, my dad bought an old house in Germany. It came with a barn attached to it, the kind of property that looks charming in photos and feels off the second you walk inside. For the first 3 years, nothing. Quiet, normal. But in 2003, when my dad started remodeling, that's when the house woke up. It started small, banging in the walls, things falling over with no one near them, faucets turning on by themselves, toilets flushing in empty bathrooms. The kind of stuff you can talk yourself out of. Old house, old pipes, old wood settling. But then, at night, I started hearing movement directly above my bedroom in the attic. It sounded like furniture being dragged across the floor, except there were only 2 or 3 chairs up there, and one heavy oak closet too big for anyone to move alone. My dad had an easy answer for everything. Probably just squirrels, he would say. Pretty big squirrels, if you ask me. I'd met my now spouse online, and because of the time difference, they were in the US. I usually ended up video chatting them early in the morning hours, while the rest of the house was still asleep. One morning, mid-conversation, they suddenly said, "Oh, they must be up early." I instantly froze. I asked them what they meant. My spouse told me something had just walked behind me through the hallway on camera. Nobody was awake at 3 in the morning. I knew that, and as I turned to look, the entire curtain fixture that was securely mounted and bolted to the wall tore loose and crashed to the floor. I ended the call immediately to go investigate. I checked every room. Everyone was exactly where they should be, asleep, accounted for. So who did my spouse see? No one was up that could explain what my spouse saw. That question never got answered, and things only escalated from there. Morning after morning, my family would come downstairs to find every kitchen cabinet and drawer standing wide open, like someone had gone through the entire kitchen overnight searching for something. Worse, the basement door kept being found unlocked. The door was always locked. Always. There was an old, abandoned well down there, and nobody wanted it accessible, especially with kids in the house. Occurrences started happening in front of guests. Lights flickering mid-conversation, cabinets popping open while people sat at the dinner table. My family had gone from explaining it away to quietly terrified, and they hadn't even found out why. So my mom made 2 calls. The first was to a friend, a Native American woman deeply spiritual who offered to come do a cleansing. The second call was to a Catholic priest. When the priest finally returned the call, his voice was heavy. He told my mother this wasn't the first time he'd been summoned to that address, and he wouldn't be coming back this time either. He sounded almost angry, not at us, but at whoever sold the house to us without a word of why no tenant had ever stayed longer than a few months there. My mom pushed him for answers. Did he at least know what it was? He gave her one piece of history. Around 1900, the property belonged to a farmer and his wife. Good people by all accounts. The wife had always wanted children, but it never happened for her. Then one day, her husband left for the market and never came home. He was run over in town and killed. The wife, who was left behind, changed after that. She grew bitter. She stopped speaking to almost everyone. She died in that house, alone and bitter. My mother solemnly hung up the phone. And for a while after that call, nothing happened. The house went quiet, almost peaceful. They actually started to believe it was over, until my sister-in-law announced she was pregnant. The moment that news hit the house, everything that had gone quiet came back, and it came back worse. Windows opened on their own, dishes flew out of cabinets across the kitchen, objects were thrown down the stairwell like something was hurling them, and the closer her sister-in-law got to her due date, the more violent it became. It got so bad that both of my sisters started sleeping in my room, too afraid to be alone. Then came the night my brother screamed. The whole family ran to his room. He said a shadow figure had come down the attic stairs that opened directly into his bedroom. and moved straight toward the baby's crib and knocked the crib over as it passed underneath. That was the last anyone slept upstairs. From then on, my entire family slept together in the living room. Even my dad, the family's biggest skeptic, was scared now. The next morning, my mom made another call, this time to the medicine woman, who responded finally. When the medicine woman arrived, she didn't need to be told much. One look at the family and she said it plainly. It's feeding off all your fear. They hadn't slept properly in months, and it showed. Before she'd even step inside, she asked if they wanted to come in with her or wait outside. Terrified for her safety, they all chose to go in together. She blessed each of them first, speaking in her native language, and pressed a small protective object into each of their hands. Then she walked into the house and immediately said the presence was strong, and it did not want her there. Room by room, they moved through the house behind her, watching sage smoke curl off a burning tray she carried, a feather resting beside it. As they neared her brother's bedroom, her voice grew louder, more forceful. Between phrases, she told him it was hiding. It felt cornered. Then they reached the attic stairs. One by one, they started climbing, and without warning, the attic door swung open on its own, and a 2x4 came flying out of the darkness straight at them, missing my brother-in-law's head by inches. Then a boom, the whole house seemed to shake. Everyone except the medicine woman, my father, and my brother-in-law fled back downstairs. When they finally looked inside the attic, the old oak cabinet, the one too heavy to move, had been shoved over, and a 2x4 that was behind it had been physically torn out of the roof's wooden frame. The medicine woman said it wasn't up there anymore. It had gone down, which meant there was only one room left she hasn't blessed, the laundry room. She went in alone. What followed was loud enough that my family, huddled together outside the door, could feel it in the walls. It felt like it lasted forever. When she finally came out, she was covered in ash from head to toe, visibly drained, barely able to stand. She told them it had put up a fight, that it had come after her, trying to blow out the sacred fire burning on her tray again and again. She wouldn't accept a single cent for what she had done. A few days later, she came back one more time, not to check on the house, to tell them something she felt they needed to hear. The bitter woman who died alone in that house all those decades ago hadn't been trying to hurt them. She'd been trying to protect them. Specifically, she'd been trying to protect the unborn baby, because whatever else was in that house had been hunting it. My family never experienced anything again after that night. My parents eventually sold the house after me and my siblings moved out. That was the last anyone in my family ever heard from that house again. If you enjoyed the story, hit like and subscribe for new scary stories I post weekly. If you want another one right now, click the link in the description.